Hello, I am back. I am here. I am excited to be with you. I am Brian Cristiano, the founder and CEO of Bold Worldwide. I also work with executives and business owners, coaching and advising their companies on how to grow. And today, I'm here to ask you a very specific question. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go in business? Where do you want to go in life? This is such an under-asked question. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? Where did you think you would be today if I'd asked you this 10 years ago? Where are you going to be in 10 years? Are you there? Did you accomplish what you set out to accomplish? Did it happen for you? Was it better? Did it not happen? Did things change? Look, I want to talk about what this means for business, because we all, especially online, there's so much content available, right? From so many different sources. A lot of it's great. Some of it's total BS. Some of it's from people that have never accomplished or built anything before, and they're just regurgitating other people's information. But here's the thing. Almost all of it's about tactics. Hey, you need to grow your business. Here's how you do Facebook ads. Hey, you need to grow your business. Here's how you sell better. And while tactics are very important, what most people forget to ever ask is, where do I want to go? Where do I want to be? What am I trying to accomplish? What do I want out of this? Because we can sit here and ask all day, well, I want to increase my sales. Sure, but why? You didn't become an entrepreneur or a business owner or an executive just to put dollars in a bank account. Sure, the dollars in your bank account create something, get you freedom, buy you nice things, right? Give you security, but you're not actually looking for the dollars in the bank account. You're looking for something else, right? And most of the time, if you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, there was some journey, there was something that inspired you. There was something bigger than just doing transactions. Am I right? So here's the thing though. At some point, you decided, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and here's why. You're passionate about it, you're excited. But if you do it for more than a couple of days, at some point, you realize, well, I'm in the weeds. I have all this day-to-day stuff I have to deal with, right? I don't, I'm just running day to day. I'm working all this time, all these hours, I'm putting in all of this effort, and maybe I'm making progress, but it wasn't as crystal clear as you intended it to be, right? That's the entrepreneur. That's the business trap. That's the business trap that we all fall into. I've fallen into it. We forget what we wanted to create. We forgot why we got into this. We forgot where we wanted to go. And all of a sudden, we're just doing stuff, right? We got to get to tomorrow. We got to get to next month. We got to make payroll. We got to close that deal. And maybe those are good things, or maybe they're not. And oftentimes when I ask business owners or entrepreneurs the question of, well, why did you start this? What do you really want? It's different from where they are today. And so what I want you to think about, what I want you to ask yourself is, where do I want to be? Where do I want to go? And maybe for you, some people think very long horizons. Maybe for you, like, where do I want to be in 10 years? Or maybe for you, it's, where do I want to be in the next couple of years? Or maybe you're just like, hey, I can't think that far ahead. Where do you want to be in the next 90 days? Where do you want to be? That's the question that we're asking today. So wherever you're watching, if you want to type in a comment, I'll try to incorporate some of that I'll try to give some answers or some insight into your specific questions. But let me know, where do you want to be, or where did you want to be, right? 2020 has been a weird year. So a lot of us had, hey, this is where I'm going to be 2020. It's probably not exactly where you are right now. Right? Some may be better. Some might be, somewhere in the middle of it. It's not that bad. And some might be like, yeah, 2020 punched me in the face. This is not where I want to be, right? Either way, wherever you are in that spectrum, you still need to be clear. Where do you want to be? It doesn't even mean that you can't even make that happen. Like, there's still a lot of 2020 left. So where do you want to be? in the future? What is that? Now, I'm going to share my screen with you here. Let's see if this works. Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. I'm on a new platform here, so I'm getting used to it. So here's an interesting quote. I love this. Any intelligent fool can make things bigger, more complex. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. That's Albert Einstein. I love this quote because it's so easy to do more. It's so easy to make things complex. It's so easy to make things bigger and do more things. It's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult to do, some things. It's very, very difficult to focus on where you want to be. It's very challenging. It's very challenging to focus on less things. It's very challenging to make things simpler. It's very easy to make them complex. So, if you have a piece of paper, I find that this exercise helps actually write this down. Draw a little triangle. Where do you want to go or where do you want to be? And here's what you need to do first. Draw a little mini triangle at the top there and say your outcome. Your outcome. This is what you're trying to achieve. This is where you're trying to go. This is what you want to be. Okay? And then what I want you to do is on the left side, write the word clarity. Clarity. And what this means is, why do you want that outcome? Getting really clear on for what reason? So you're like, I just want to grow my business. Why? I want to get my business from, 1 million to 10 million. Why? I want to go from 100 million to a billion. Why? I'm in a startup mode. I'm just 3 or 4 employees. I want to have 20 employees. Why? Clarity on what you're trying to achieve. What is the outcome and why? What's the reasoning for it? What's the clarity, right? It's deeper. It's deeper than just the target. It's deeper than the goal. And most people stop at, I want to achieve this. I want this much dollars in my bank account. I want my business to be doing $100 million. I want 50 employees. I want 10 more clients. Those are easy things. That's easy to say. It's easy to add more, but get clear on that. Why? What's the reason that you want that outcome? What's the reason for it, right? So you got to get very clear. You got to think about what that clarity is for you, right? And then on the right side, write focus. What I mean by focus is when you're clear on what your outcome should be, where you want to go, where you want to be. Then you can work backwards and decide, well, where do I need to focus? Where does my effort need to be? What am I focusing on? What do I need to do? What parts of my business, what parts of my life do I need to focus on? Right? Because if you're clear on, hey, this is the outcome I want and why, but you're focusing on other things in your life or your business, you're never going to achieve that outcome that you want. Right? For example, you might be really clear, hey, I want to get to 100 million and here's why, and here's how that's going to change my life in the world. But you're not focused in on sales. You're focusing your energy on something that does not directly correlate to your business getting to $100 million. You're spending energy in areas of the business that don't grow it. Well, you're not going to achieve that outcome, at least not in short order. You're going to take the long way there, right? If your outcome is, let's even move from business. If your outcome is, hey, I need to lose 20 pounds because I need to get healthy because I want to be around for my family, that's a great outcome. That's very clear. But you're not going to the gym. You didn't pay for a trainer or a coach. So you're focused on what? What are you focused on? Well, but I need to save up some money first. Well, you're focused on the wrong thing, so you're not going to get the outcome, right? And then last is action. Action. Focus areas of your life and your business, and to be clear on the outcome that you're creating. Basically, all needs to ladder up. It all needs to ladder up. You see, right? If you're not clear, but you're focused on something and taking action on that one thing, well, you're going to have a different outcome than you really want. If you are clear on your outcome and your goals that you want to achieve, but you're focused on the wrong areas of life and business, well, all your actions are going to be counter or different from what that outcome is that you really want. Or you might be really clear and you're focused, but you're not taking enough action. So the timeline is wrong. I want to achieve this in 2 years, but you're not taking enough action to get there in 2 years. Well, great. Then you need to either change the timeline or change your action. Or, and I see this all the time, right? I work with startup entrepreneurs. I work with billion-dollar organizations, and it is no different. It is no different, right? It's same in personal life as it is in business, right? I'm simplifying this for this one conversation. However, it really comes down to understanding what is the target? What is the outcome that you want? Right? Getting really clear on what that is and what that does for you, what that does for your family, what that does for your community, what that does for your employees, what it does for your life, right? Getting real clarity around that and then saying, what do I need to focus on in order to achieve that? And then taking absurd amounts of action on those focus areas and delegating or removing as much of everything else as you possibly can. That is the fastest line to success. That is the fastest line to the outcome that you actually want, right? But so often, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we get sucked into the weeds. And we're in day to day, and we're like, oh, well, I have to get this thing done tomorrow. Do you? Why? Does that thing that you're doing today actually help achieve that outcome directly in the shortest line possible? Or is it just a task on a list of things you have to do? Because you got to get to tomorrow. You got to get to next week. You got to make it to next month. Right? It's very comfortable. It's very easy to get caught up in that. It's very easy to get caught up in, well, I have to do this. Do you? What if you stopped it? What if you got rid of it? Right? And when you think about that triangle, right? And the reason I use this very simple exercise is because, when I'm working with entrepreneurs or executives or business owners or anybody in between of any size, even celebrities, right? There's always a little bit of lack of strength in one or more of these areas. Right? Some people are super clear on what they want to achieve. They're super clear. But I have to take care of these other things first, right? I want to expand my business into another country. But before I do that, I have to do, I need to get our branding right. Well, is your branding going to directly correlate to expanding into other countries? Well, it will. No, that's not the right answer. It needs to be a hell yes or a hell no, right? All of the stuff in the gray area in the middle of maybes, I'll think about it, or yeah, it kind of does, or it eventually will. That language is the dead zone. That's where dreams go to die. That's where time goes to die, right? Like I live my life by, at least I try every single day and remind myself, dude, yeses or nos. No maybes. No, I'll think about it. No, well, one day or once we do this. Once we get to X, then we'll. No. Why? That is the longest way possible to what you actually want, the outcome that you want to achieve, where you want your life, where you want your business. That is the hard way. That is the hardest way possible. Instead of taking that step back and saying, well, what do I actually want to achieve? Okay. And then looking at your day, looking at your week, looking at your month and saying, are all the things I'm doing, or at least 90% of the things I'm doing, directly attributable to that goal, to that outcome? Are the actions I'm taking big enough? Number one. Number two, are they on the right focus areas of my life and business? And am I clear on how that drives my goal and my outcome? Because if you say yes to all of that, you're going to achieve very big things. But here's the thing. Again, it doesn't matter if it's a celebrity, a big-time executive, a startup entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, all these people that I talk to and do business with, they're so common, right? Some people are super clear, but they're unfocused. They're focusing their efforts on the wrong parts of their business and the wrong parts of their life because they think they have to, because they're in the weeds, right? It's not going to get you to that outcome as fast as possible. Other people are really clear and they're very focused, but they're not taking enough action, or they're still taking the wrong action, right? Now, let me ask you, do you think you can take a ton of action on the wrong things and actually have a worse outcome than you intended? Yeah, of course you can. Of course that's what's going to happen. If you take a ton of action on the wrong things, you're not going to be in the place that you wanted to be. It might be terrible, right? That's probably one of the reasons that your business isn't where you dreamed it would be 10 years ago. And if it is, great, that's awesome. But it could have been bigger if you were even more focused and taking more action on the right areas. Okay. And again, it's just because we get in this day to day, we get in the haze, we get in the weeds. Oh, I have to respond to this person. I got, a million emails coming in. I got 500, messages on social media. And I have to. Do you? Is responding to that email directly correlate to your outcome? If the answer is no, then I want you to seriously consider either not responding, not doing anything with it, or saying, hey, you know what? I'm creating clarity and focus in my life, and I'm sorry this is not a priority right now. We'll circle back in a year. I dare you to do that. Most people aren't bold enough to do that. Because most people feel that, well, I have to. Do you? For what? Why? And especially now, especially where the economy is, especially with all the uncertainty of the economy and business and finances right now across for everybody, right? It impacts almost every single person in some way, shape, or form right now, big and small. Especially with all the uncertainty in the marketplace, you need to be even more clear and more focused and taking more action on fewer things. Because here's the other thing that I see that people mix up, right? They're not where they want to be financially. The business isn't as big as they wanted it to be. They're not as secure as they thought they should be. And so what do? They start adding more to their plate. They start doing more things. They start adding more products, more services. They start more businesses. They connect with more people. But just like that quote from Albert Einstein, that's the easy way. It's easy to do more. It's hard to get clear. It's hard to focus. It's hard to do less. But guess what? When you have less in your life and you're super focusing on, do you think if you're putting 80% of your energy onto 3 things, that it's going to have a better outcome than if you put 5% on 20 things? Of course. Of course. Right? Because that old adage, what is that, right? Like you're master of, master of none, right? Like you can do a bunch of things, but you're not a master at any of it. Well, guess what? The people that become super successful, the businesses that become amazing, they're very focused. Think about this, right? The company Apple. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. But after they fired Steve Jobs back when they got rid of him, and then the new CEO took over and they took the company in a different direction, right? What did they do? They expanded the product line. They started doing more. They tried to service more customers and give them more options. And the company started failing very quickly. The company was on the verge of never existing. The company was on the verge of, I might not have an iPhone had this continued. And they bring Steve Jobs in. Do you know what he did? You know what he did? He looked at all the different products, all the different computers, all the different laptops, and he got rid of all of them but 4. It was still a big, company at that time. Not nearly as big as it is today, but it's still a big company. Got rid of everything but 4 items and said, we're going to focus all of our energy on selling these 4 products. And we're going to get very clear on the 4 types of people that need these products. And that's it. Because he knew, very smart man, very intuitive, very, obviously brilliant. But he knew that if he focused the entire company's energy on 4 things, they would see massive success versus having everybody split across dozens and dozens of different products. And obviously the rest is history. It worked. The company was going to go under. And so what he did is he put all the energy into the fewest things possible that are going to have the biggest impact. And that's what you need to do in life and in business. And it doesn't matter where your business is today. If your business is doing better because of, COVID, right? Like there are some people in some health industries and some folks that I've talked to that it's just crazy. Like there's more demand for their product. It's a much smaller percentage of the economy, but there are people who are doing better. But here's the thing. It's easy to get comfortable when you're saying, well, the economy's down and my company's doing better. This is going to be short-lived because at some point that demand's going to go back to normal. And then where are you, right? So you need to, if your company's doing really well right now, you need to leverage harder. You need to get even more focused. You need to say, hey, how do we use this momentum to invent the next version of ourselves? And how do we focus even further? Not just what's working today because we happen to luck out and be in the right industry in this weird time, but where are we going to be in 2 years and 5 years from now? If you're somewhere in the middle of like, listen, like, we lost some business, we gained some business, kind of this, wash, it's not great, but it's not, terrible, better than you'd think it would be. That's not a bad place to be. And hopefully, that's the majority of people. However, that's a dangerous place to be because there's still so much uncertainty. What happens if the economy gets worse? What happens if, the underlying economics that have not really, hit the market yet? What happens if that takes things down? What happens if it changes your industry? What happens if lockups come back? Again, don't get me wrong. I don't want any of that to happen. I want us to get, great. Let's start growing again, right? Because that's not good for anybody. But what if that doesn't happen? Then where are you? If things don't change in your business right now, even if you're doing okay, Where are you in a year or two if things don't ever change, right? So you absolutely need to take this time and focus even further and get super, super clear on what do you want as a business owner or entrepreneur? And if you're not the business owner or entrepreneur, think about it in the area of the business that you work on. Take this up to the ownership. Why are we doing this? Let's get really clear. What are we trying to create long term? Let's focus and let's take action on the fewest things possible is going to have the biggest impact. And if you're in the category, and I'm sorry for you that if you're in the category that you've been hit hard, you're on the ropes, this is a do or die situation from you, you have no time. You need to act now. You need to get super clear very fast, and you need to focus everything on absolute most minimal amount of things that you can do, and you need to take so much action, massive amounts of action, unreasonable amounts of action so that you can turn it around. Because I can tell you, I know companies that were completely on the ropes and completely turned it around in the last month or two. It can be done. It can be done. But it's not going to happen if you're not clear, if you're not focused, you're not taking the right action on the right things that are going to have the right outcome to reach the target that you need to reach. You have to do this. You don't have a choice. You really don't. So I'm going to bring this up one more time. And look at that, right? Your outcome is the product of your ability to be clear, focus, and take action on the right things. Your outcome is dictated by clarity, focus, and action. There's obviously deeper elements below that. But if you just think about it this way, and I can tell you, speaking to hundreds and hundreds of business owners, executives, and entrepreneurs, hundreds of them in the last few months, all of them have a deficiency in one of these areas. All of them. So what do you do if you're deficient in one of these areas? If you're like, wow, I'm actually not very clear. I need to get clarity. I'm actually not sure what, things have changed so much and I'm uncertain right now. And I don't know what the outcome needs to be. Great. Well, then you need to work with somebody who can help you create that clarity. You need to bring somebody on your team that is strong in the areas that you are weak. Right? And if you say, hey, I'm really clear, but I don't know what to focus it on. So much has changed in my industry. I don't know where to focus. Or I don't know what actions to take right now. Or I'm not sure if I'm taking enough or the right actions. Same thing. You need somebody that can give you the 100,000-foot view, map this out, and figure out exactly where you need to be focusing and what actions you can take. You need to bring somebody into your team that is strong in the areas that you are weak. And I've seen this big and small companies. As soon as that happens, magic takes place. If you're willing to take action, if you're willing to move forward, if you're willing to get rid of the gray area and say, hey, you know what? No more of this. We'll see how it plays out. No more of this. I'll think about it. This might work. No more maybe or one day when. If you remove all that language from your vocabulary and you just say, hey, listen, I'm going to get so clear that I can say yes and no to everything. Well, then guess what? Now you have the ability. Now that's a bold CEO. That is someone who is very bold. That gives you the ability to make massive action, to make big things happen, to create the outcome that you want for yourself, for your family, for your company, for your employees, for your community, for your faith. It allows you to do that faster than even you could imagine. But you got to get clear first. And then you got to be willing to get rid of that gray area. That's what it's going to take. So you got to ask yourself if you're willing to do that. So listen, I'm not going to ask you to type this in the comments because some of it's private, but if you want some insights on your specific situation, send me a DM. Just give me a couple little bullet points. Where are you? Where's the deficiency? And I'll do my best to reply, give you some insights to help you clean up this time to get a little bit more clear or figure out the focus areas or where you should be taking action. But think about it. You got to zoom out. You got to get out of the weeds. You got to think about the big picture, because if you're just in the weeds, you don't even know where you're going, right? It's like if you put your head down and just start walking around and you don't see anything around you, you're going to bump into stuff. You're going to end up walking into the road, getting hit by a car. And that's how most people operate in life and business every single day. But the people that are super successful get super clear. Just like Steve Jobs, right? Super clear, super focused, take tons of action on the fewest amount of things that are going to create the outcome that they want. Because I would bet, and I don't know what outcome you're trying to create, but I would bet if we could somehow magically snap our fingers and you could have that outcome right now, all the problems in your business and life would probably go away, wouldn't they? If you're like, well, if I was already there, yeah, all the issues are gone. Think about that. Think about that. It is your duty. It is your obligation to figure out, how do I create that outcome as fast as I possibly can? Because it gets rid of all the pain. It gets rid of all the problems. It gets rid of all the uncertainty if you can create that outcome. And you're not at that outcome yet because you're either not clear, not focused enough, or not taking the right actions on the right things. So send me a DM with some bullet points if you want me to try to help you out there. I'd be more than happy to send you a message back. Listen, I'm Brian Cristiano, founder and CEO of Bold Worldwide. Appreciate your time. I appreciate you, and I want you to think about, how do you be a bold CEO? Thanks so much. I'm going to be doing some more of this content. So as well, if you found this valuable, share it, comment, send me a message. Let me know what you thought about it. I'm going to be doing some more stuff. If you want to hear some more topics, some more information on business, on life, on how to, really get your mindset and your business right to grow it, let me know what you want to see. I'm going to be doing some more of this, and I'm going to come up with a bit of the schedule. Right now, I'm just kind of feeling this out, trying some new software. I hope you found it valuable, and I will see you soon. Be bold.